this might be the next big MMO you've never heard of. I'm gonna go over all the recent news and details with the game, and how you can start playing, which yes, you can even start playing today. However, there is a massive warning there that you could miss out on. Additionally, I'll also cover a recent developer interview, as well as a whole bunch more. What's up, World Utopia, here back in with another video. Today we're checking out all things Soulframe. Let's just jump right into it. So yes, this might be the next big game and big MMO you've probably never heard of. This thing basically came out of nowhere. Although some people have been in some previous testing phases, this one essentially popped up on my radar quite recently, and has been making rounds this past weekend. The reason why is it was at TennoCon, where they did hold a developer interview and go over all the details with the game, and that includes how you can play it right now. And yes, if you want to jump into Soulframe, you can do so. However, there's a massive warning there. You must sign up before the end of Sunday. So yes, you'll have until July 20th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time, essentially 12 a.m. Eastern, which is 11 p.m. Central, or 9 p.m. Pacific Time. So depending if you're in Cali or those areas, you might only have until 9 p.m. on July 20th. Depending on when this video goes out, could be a little bit less than 24 hours. However, if you do so, you can get full access to the preludes. That's for anybody that signs up before the deadline. This currently is in the pre-alpha stage, and they do mention that their aspiration is for you to keep your progress forever. So essentially no more wipes, that you can keep your progress all the way up until launch, I believe. Although they do mention that that is their aspirations. And they even had a quote here in the dev live stream saying that DE confirmed Prelude's progress will carry over into launch, including your wolf pup, gear, and even progression. So it does seem like you'll even have this stuff into launch. So you basically can start leveling your character all the way until this game launches. They are planning for a 2025 launch. And again, if you're curious, Soulframe is a free-to-play fantasy action RPG. It is by the developers from Warframe. They're trying to blend things from Elden Ring or slow, deliberate combat, even having magic and a narrative exploration. Also some gameplay here that I've been playing right now, basically how combat does work. Weighty melee, every melee swing feels and hits the ground nicely. Magic also feels really good, and the audio from magic sounds quite insane. There's swappable loadouts where you can mix bows, sidearms, melee, and caster weapons. So again, super fun there. Plays like a looter shooter a little bit, obviously with more of a fantasy element. But to break down the developer livestream, in the first section here is they do go over that they had a full combat overhaul. Again, with the new melee feeling, we have that smite mechanic, our critical hits steal enemy souls. The bow did get reworked here, so it should feel a bit smoother. They've also added new sidearms, close range weapons are now viable. Enemies now stagger, react, and animate even better, where they have taken it from a floaty Warframe to a more weighty Souls-like, and the game definitely feels very smooth. It is not floaty combat at all, I'd say, although it does feel a bit more geared to a controller. It still played fine on my mouse and keyboard. Now there is 3 starting classes here, and they're called packs. Those will define your playstyle. So essentially there is the Spirit class, which is magic-themed DPS spells, motes. There's also Courage, which is strength, heavy melee, and defense. And then there is Grace, which is finesse, stealth, and agile gameplay or agility, essentially akin to an assassin. So 3 there. I do believe they are bringing more packs eventually. You can also get a pet wolf. I haven't actually grabbed this one yet, but it is a permanent companion tied to your origin story. Some pretty cool stuff there. I've delved into magic or spirit mostly. You can also upgrade your pack or even your abilities. Right now I do have those 3 abilities, where my middle ability is a heal, and then my 1 and 3 key, those are some damage abilities, with 1 being more of a stagger and stun, with my 3rd ability introducing a little bit of a stun mechanic as well, but also some damage. And then you also get 3 baseline attacks. That includes a normal attack, which is your left click. You can also heavy attack, that is your middle mouse button. I have rebinded that. And then you have a block feature here with your right click. Next up here, they do go over some of the stuff in the game currently, and even a future roadmap I'll discuss. So we have some seasonal events here with the Festival of Karade, set in a haunted crypt with the Joder clan lore. There's some community-wide puzzle solving, and expected to take 2 weeks, so players can beat it in 2 hours though. And a new spooky enemy called the Mendicant King. And those even do include stagger mechanics, so if you're familiar with that, that's really fun as well. They also do have some Elden Ring-like structures here, or Elden Ring-like things with the world trees and player messages. So you can unlock map regions by syncing with world trees. I haven't found these just yet, but I do need to do some more looking around. You can also leave behind Souls-like player notes. Obviously, they say devs do read these messages, so be respectful. Haven't found any just yet, but that's because a lot of people are just jumping into the game. And I've also encountered an area where you can see a bunch of other players. Again, it more is like a shared world experience or an MMO light. You can invite players to your world, but you'll also see players in player hubs. I believe you're not going to see players out in the open world unless it's an event, so kind of akin to Destiny a little bit there. Hoping they do potentially embed in the future though. Next up here is the gear, glamour, and weapon variety. They do mention that armor can now grant stats in 3 different categories. Glamour system, aka transmog, has been teased. They have some new caster weapons, sidearms, and fey weapons, and even hair customizations coming soon. They have unveiled these hair customizations that you can pick out so far, and a few of the other things like the glamour system and the transmog system they did tease during this developer livestream. Down the road, they are also adding moats, where there's this soul-like bound weapon spirits. Moats are living spirits that are inside weapons where you can level them and unlock powers and unique effects. Those are inspired by ultimates but with build flexibility, and they do want to encourage deep customization so your weapon has a soul to it. Pretty cool there. I believe I picked up one of those weapons, or at least had something like that, where the melee weapon was on fire, and it did some lasting fire damage and was actually really strong. There was 2 last mentionables here with the developer livestream. They had a martial arts manual where you can replace skill trees, you can learn styles, and even write your own martial arts manual with some ongoing progression there. They also did show off the Bromius demo, a stunning boss showcase, which is a corrupted bear that had fully voiced lore demos with puzzle combat, and even a co-op section included, hinting at future multiplayer boss encounters. So it might throw you in a match together to fight that boss. Hope we do see that a lot where there is play on that multiplayer mechanic, as they are treating this like an MMO, but more like a Warframe MMO. I've always considered those MMO lights are really a shared world experience, and even to a lesser extent there, as it's mostly just player hubs. Still very cool nonetheless. This game is very good looking, and it runs really well from everyone I've seen so far, even in chat, which has been super active. Again, if you want to jump into Soulframe, I will include a link to it. You can sign up right now with that link and just sign right in. Now, if you're someone that did actually sign up for Soulframe before, they had an issue where logins basically didn't have a password set. They have sent out an email to you to help finish setting up your account. Again, as you can reserve your name seemingly for launch. So if you did want to reserve any names, you can do so through the link. Again, that should basically include everything and up-to-date information that's come out so far. As I mentioned, it is launching in 2025. They did have that developer live stream today that went over a bunch of information, and you can still sign up till July 20th. I'll try to continue covering Soulframe if you guys actually do like the video, and it does fairly well. Overall, that's what I'll cover for today's video. If you enjoyed it, like, and subscribe, and until the next one. Deuces.